Good afternoon and welcome to Aiken Business Matters. I'm your host, John McMichael, and we have three great guests today, and I'm really looking forward to this interview. And I know you will be glad that you tuned in today when we are through with our topics. First of all, I want to introduce Mandy Collins. Mandy is the Vice President of Economic Development and Vitality with the Greater Aiken Chamber of Commerce. And to her right is a young entrepreneur here in town, Kennedy Haley. Kennedy is also a student at University of South Carolina, Aiken campus. And to his right is Karen POTEAT. She is the owner of what, Karen? Tell us.
Active Seniors.
Oh, that's wonderful. And the reason I got her to say that was because she is the 2015 Small Business of the Year for Aiken. And we are so proud of you and what you've accomplished there. And you've certainly done a lot for the community, not only in regard to your business, but also you give an awful lot back in so many other areas as well. But congratulations on that. And you are also a chamber ambassador, are you not, this year?
Yes, I am.
So you are very involved in the community. Mandy,
Yes.
in your role, and one of the things we wanted to talk about today is a program that was established almost 3 years ago. I guess it's a little over 2 years ago.
Correct.
But it took about a year to get it off the
That's right.
board. It was the Young Entrepreneur Program in Aiken. It's called YAY. You want
right.
to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. YAY started out of recommendation from the Blue Ribbon Panel in 2013 to grow and foster the entrepreneurial ecosystem of our community. And the U.S. Chamber endorsed this program. We looked into it, thought it'd be a great fit for our community, so we brought it here. We've had 2 successful classes, and we're working on starting our 3rd one.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I know that I'd like for our folks to know is the fact that you are an educator.
Yes.
You did come from education.
Yes.
And,
I'm a former school teacher.
Yes.
So I love teaching, and this was an opportunity to put together my passion for teaching and children and business.
How long have you and your family been in Aiken now, Mandy?
Wow, that's a long time. 16 years now?
16
I think
years.
that's right, yeah.
And you're
16.
originally from
Texas.
I thought I noticed that. You
No.
don't wear cowboy boots or a cowboy hat, but you are from Texas.
Yes, I have.
You do have them, but
I do have them, but
Not-
I keep
not-
them in the closet. But yes, I do
Good.
enjoy it.
Well, tell me what the purpose of the YAY program is.
To foster entrepreneurs in our community, not just with the students that are in the class, but also with the entrepreneurial spirit with all of our volunteers that come in, our mentors that work with the students, our guest speakers, with their families. It just gives an opportunity for us to highlight entrepreneurship and the importance of the business community.
Well, you're starting your 3rd year. You've had 2 successful years,
Yes.
and it seems like it's getting a lot of traction. A lot more people are hearing about it from time to
We
time.
hope so.
And what was the real clincher for you? Why did you get really sold on it? Because I remember when I was in a chamber board meeting and you were telling us about it, and I can always tell when somebody has a passion for something. It really shows.
Because it's real. It's not just out of a book. It is an actual project-based learning opportunity. They get to actually put their steps into reality. Okay, they get funding and they get to bring it to life. It's not just on paper. I mean, we've all done projects that, okay, imagine this, and well, if you could, whereas this one is, okay, you're going to get funding, and how are you going to use that funding? And they actually get to launch it. It has the potential to be the next big thing. So,
That's exciting, I know,
Yeah.
for not only for the students, but for their families as well.
we're hoping they remember us when they make $1 million
There you go.
and they come
They
back. Yeah,
come
just
back as-
remember
yeah.
my name, okay?
Hey, that's what I tell him too.
He remembers you. Yeah, that's right.
Well, Karen, you're an entrepreneur yourself. You started your business. You came from a nursing background.
Yes.
And you started your business over 3 years ago. I guess it was 3.
Going on 4 years.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad I remembered correctly because I didn't have that in my notes.
Good job, John.
Thank you. But how has being in business for yourself impacted your family?
Well, it's made us appreciate other businesses for one thing, and what goes into being a successful business. Our family did have to do without a few frills and sometimes some needs in order to start the business and grow the business. So it's given us more of an appreciation of the little things in life and what's truly important. And then just the satisfaction of meeting a need in the community, I hope has spilled over, for our kids and friends and family to have been through that experience with us, to see it's not always about money, but it's about doing the right thing and doing something to make a good impact on the community, because what's good for your community comes back to you.
Well, you certainly exhibit all those things, and the giving back to the community, because I see that, and you're certainly involved in the business community very much in depth with that. You also received some other accolades in the last year. You were designated and as one of the recipients of a SCORE award, a national SCORE award. How did that go?
We were actually recipients of 2 awards that were related to SCORE. One was the Sam's Club and SCORE sponsored National Small Business Champion Award. And then we were also, we were happy to represent SCORE as the Small Business Success Story of the Year. And I'm really proud of that, because it's one thing to be a successful business and look good to the outside, but SCORE knows the inside of my business as well. So when they see that I make careful choices and that I've put thought into all of my planning and my budgeting and things like that, I don't just go out on a whim and make decisions because it looks like or sounds like a good thing. It gives me a good feeling that we're on a good, steady path for the future, that we're on the right track, and that we're going to be around for a long time and be able to serve the community, because we're making good, sound business decisions. And sometimes that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
So.
There really is I think maybe not a direct parallel, but certainly a correlation between what SCORE does for adults as they start businesses and the principles that YAY tries to teach the students as they're going through their training, and they get all kinds of instruction and mentoring, and really go through the real process. So, Mandy,
Yes.
you have to choose students. What do you use as a criteria for picking students that are involved in the YAY program?
We look at their academic performance. We also ask for a recommendation from a teacher or from someone who knows them very well. What I'm looking for is not necessarily your straight A student. I'm looking for a commitment. The child who's willing to work and determination to get that. And then we also ask for an interview. It gives me the opportunity to sit down with the student and kind of decide if this is really for them, or if it's something that they might like to do, they'll play with a little, but then they won't have that determination, because it's fun and it's exciting, but it is work.
And with that said, Kennedy, there's a part of you when you go for a program like this that you want to make if your parents tell you about it and you want to get into it, you say, well, I'm going to do it because my parents want me to do it. But that doesn't really give you a good track for success, does it? It's got to be something you want to do personally.
Right.
Tell us how you felt going into the program.
I was really excited. I had known before that I had wanted to start a business of some sort, and I think that's part of the reason why my mom recommended it to me. I didn't really know what all to expect going in, but after the first few classes, I really started to really enjoy it, and I was really glad I'd made the decision to join the YAY program.
Well, the whole program that you go through, how many weeks is it?
It's a 30-week program. We start in October and we finish in May.
there's an awful lot that goes into the program. Tell us
There is.
tell us about a typical week. What's a
Sure.
typical week?
Well,
for-
actually, I'd rather go through just kind of a typical year
Okay,
real
that's-
quick. It's
that's
really
even
easy.
better.
It's 3 sections.
Okay.
We divide it in 3 groups. The first one is brainstorming and vetting ideas.
Okay.
So we see, is your idea viable? The next section, we work on your business plan. You sit down with a mentor one-on-one and actually get that business plan written. And then in the last section, we pitch to a group of investors for real funding. And once that funding comes in, then the students can use that funding to actually get their business started. So 3 easy sections, just
Yeah.
bing, bing, bing. It goes surprisingly quick, but actually it's kind of a quick and long thing. It's hard to describe.
Some
but
classes are a little bit longer than others.
the one on taxes was a
Yeah.
little long.
That was a long day.
That was a long day.
How was the one on insurance that I did? Was it too long? No, it was. I enjoyed it. I've done
Good.
it. I've worked with Mandy, as y'all know, for the last 2 years, and it's always very rewarding. And I just love to see the excitement and the enthusiasm that the students have, because it's real, and to see them when you ask them to explain to you what their project's all about, that's really the highlight for me. It's just to see they just take it up like a sponge. You
They do.
guys just are really sitting there. You can tell the ones that really want to do it. You can tell the ones that are pretty sure they want to do it, and the ones that are, well, it's something to do.
Well, you know what? That's okay though, because
Yeah.
if they learn that that's not what they want to do, I've just saved their parents some college tuition.
Yes, you certainly did.
So they learn whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Also, the career exploration. When we go and visit these other companies, they are able to see what some of the roles are in those companies and maybe how they would fit. So,
Yeah.
and the skills they learn in Yay are things that even if they don't work for themselves or start their own business or develop a new product, those skills will transfer to any environment. You know, looking someone in the eye, shaking their hand, producing quality written material to give to someone to present an idea, speaking in public. All those things that we learn in class, they'll transfer to any part of your life, whether you decide to be an entrepreneur or not.
You know, most successful business people will tell you that they've had as many failures as they have successes. So as a young person, that has to be a tough part of it. You come up with a lot of good ideas, and not all of them are going to fly. You know,
Yes,
they
sir.
feel good, they sound good, but you talk to a mentor, you talk to somebody that during the program, and they say, that's a great idea, but who's going to buy it? So the reality is there. That's a tough part of business, is to be able to accept very pointed and direct information from people, and it's not always fun to get, but it saves you from the heartaches later that come from total failure. So tell us about how you arrived at what you are doing in your business. When you were going through this brainstorming process, what was that like for you?
Well, at the beginning, I knew that I wanted to do clothing, and
Okay.
I just didn't know what area of clothing I wanted to do. Originally, I think my idea was like a higher end clothing line with, you know, shirts that could be hundreds of dollars even. And after going through and doing research, I realized that that wouldn't be a viable option for the amount of time that we had in the program. So then I turned towards the preppy clothing market. And whenever I decided that's what I wanted to do, I wanted to come out with a full clothing line. I wanted to do pants, shorts, polos, button-downs, hats, shirts, shoes, anything that you could think of that you could wear, I wanted to do it. And after talking with some of my mentors, they kind of guided me towards t-shirts at first because they were cheaper to make and they wouldn't take as long to produce as some of these other goods, and that was something that I could do within the program, and from there then I could evolve and expand into other clothing items.
Well, that was a well thought out process, and you know what? That was very well done, Mama. He's listened to you at home. So.
Well, and his business has evolved. It's gone
Yeah.
from a small T-shirt company to a rather large company. So I want to hear about your latest success because we haven't caught up in a few weeks. So
Yeah, tell us about that.
what have you been up to?
You have been not just in South Carolina. You've been several places, haven't you?
Yes, sir. My business partner and I traveled a little bit this summer, going from store to store in South Carolina and then in North Carolina. And now we've actually gotten a new investor. And so we're going to be coming out with polos, button downs. We're working on shorts and pants. And so starting probably mid-August, we're going to start traveling again. And this time we're going to go up to North Carolina and through Virginia and West Virginia and all the way up. Currently, we've had people from Massachusetts down through Louisiana that have ordered online. And so we're going to focus on those states in between there and then go from there.
That opened up the next question. Where do you sell your merchandise?
So we're available in a few stores in South Carolina, including Lionel Smith in downtown Aiken.
Okay.
And we also sell online, and I do a lot of face-to-face selling too. So everywhere I go, I normally bring my shirts and inventory with me, and I just tell people about it, and I'll sell 2 or 3 shirts, you know, going out to a friend's house or to a concert or something like that.
Well, I'm amazed. That is that is very tough work to do. When I was in college, I was in the clothing business. You know who I worked with? Lionel Smith. He taught me everything I know about clothing today. He's a great mentor, did a great job there, and certainly a long tradition in the city of Aiken.
He's just one of our partners in the community that's
Yeah.
reached out and helped because, you know, we contacted him and said, we have a student who is wanting to go in the clothing business. Can he stop by and visit with you?
Right.
Sure. And then Jim Hanna with All Sunshine
Right.
was very helpful. And there's just many of them in the community who have opened their doors to students coming in and learning from them. So it's been a great fit.
Who does your design work?
I do all the designs. So I'll sketch out the designs and then I'll send them to the graphic artist at our screen print company, and then they'll take my designs and they'll resketch them and put them into the computer and do the graphics online.
How do you decide on the designs? Did you just sit down and
I actually have a little book I carry around with me, and every time I think of a design, I write it down, and then I'll talk to some people about it and show them the ideas and see what people like the best. I use a lot of social media. I'll put out some of my designs on social media and do polls and stuff and see what people would rather buy. And so that's how we decide, you know, what to release at what time. And
well, just listening to you talk, you have some very well thought out ideas, and the concepts that you've come up with and your marketing. I was going to ask you what kind of marketing plan you have, and you've kind of given us a real good idea of that. Who does your marketing for you?
my business partner and I, we
And
do.
his mama.
And my mom, yeah. She likes all my Instagram pictures for me and reposts everything on Facebook. But we use a lot of social media. That's probably our main marketing tool. And we also have a brand ambassador program for college students. So they can go to our website and sign up, and we look at their application, and we'll send them out a free shirt and some free koozies and stickers, and they get a discount code to hand out to their friends. And so once we see which new ambassadors are actually putting stuff out on social media and generating sales, then we'll continue to send them more and more stuff. As the company grows, they get to see stuff before it's released, and they get special pricing for our clothes, and they get sent free shirts and hats and stuff like that.
He's great.
Yes, I'll tell you. Yeah, I've just got one thing to say. You listen very well in all your classes, that's for sure. Did you have any of these ideas to do your marketing like this before you went through Yay, or is that things that you learned there, or you just talked to people and just did some research online? How did you come up with your marketing plan?
It's all a little bit of both. So before going in, I knew I was going to be using a lot of social media most likely, just because that's something that my generation uses a lot, and everyone's pretty good at it, so I knew I was going to be using that. But then some of these other ideas I've had and some of the ways that I use, like social media, I learned through the YA program, or I learned through doing online research and seeing what other brands were doing, and so that's where I got the majority of my ideas.
Funny story, I got to tell you, I think I told Karen this. I don't think I told you this, but we were out somewhere and we ran into you, and my wife saw you and she kept saying, "I know him." I told him what your name was. She said, "He's so familiar." We were in the car going home. She says, "Dapper Joe." And I said, "How did you know that?" She said, "I don't know. I just knew that's who it was."
Be a household name.
That's right. So I just thought, I had never said anything to her. She knows your mom. She's met your mom. She knows you. She certainly knows Mandy. She taught with Mandy for a while. But I just said, that is incredible that you would go out and you would have a grandmother in Aiken that knows who you are. So that's a testimony to the way that you have managed to market yourself and your product and your brand. And it is a brand that you carry around. I know just before, when we were chatting a little bit before we got into the interview, we were talking about your business plan.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your business plan. Is it remain the same? Have you changed it, or is it a ever growing part of your business?
Well, it's very long. The original one took us months to write. But yeah, now it changes almost every week or so. We go back through, and my partner and I will read through it, and we'll add stuff and change wording and take some stuff out. Every time we get a new product, we have to add that into the business plan, and so it's constantly changing, and we're always revising it.
Do you have any ideas of other products that you want to add into your line? I know you just told us about some of the, the shorts and the pants and the shirts that you're going to add. What else are you going to add?
We want to do bow ties. So originally I was going to do handmade bow ties, but I don't think I'll have enough time for that now. So we're probably going to look for another manufacturer that does handmade ties and see if we can buy them from wholesale. And if not, then we'll find a company that just has them mass produced. But I ordered some packaging for the ties when I first came up with the idea, and they're small wooden handmade boxes by this company called Woodchuck. And so they'll actually engrave Dapper Joe, handmade in the USA, in the top of them, and we can use that to package them. And so that's another thing that we're hoping to come out with.
Wow. I'm impressed.
You might have to wear a bow tie now.
That's right. Well, I have some.
Okay.
In fact, now, as you mentioned it, when I was selling clothes, we introduced probably some of the first bow ties in Aiken when I was a college student here, working with Smitty. And when we moved back to Aiken from Atlanta recently, I unpacked some things, and guess what I found in this box that I hadn't opened for a long, long time?
Your Smitty tie.
I had two original bow ties, probably circa 1968, that I've still got. And they look as good today as they did when I had them. I'll show them to you sometime. Maybe you might want to duplicate them. You never know. But they were really classic at the time, and they were pretty. And I took one out, and the first thing I did, don't you? I put it around my neck, put it like I was going, and I could see if I could still tie one. And guess what? I couldn't. So I had to go back and play with it a while. I finally got it done.
Dapper Joe has a t-shirt that will teach you how to tie a bow tie. And it says every Dapper Joe needs to know how to tie a bow tie.
How about
So
that?
you need to get a t-shirt.
Is that a t-shirt?
Get a
That's right.
t-shirt.
That was one of the first designs we ever came out with.
How
was
about
the how to tie a bow tie.
Well, that leads into you're doing a great job, Mom, of getting me steered in the right direction. What is your most popular design?
Ooh, that from the original 5 designs that we had was probably just the original Dapper Joe shirt, and it's just got the logo on the front pocket and then the logo on the back really big, and that's been kind of our staple tee throughout. Last fall and winter, I released a shirt called Foul Weather, and it was a duck hunting shirt, and that sold really well.
Foul weather, I like that.
Yes, sir. So it was like a field with ducks, and at the top had foul weather. And so we're gonna redo that one for this fall, and actually had a design for a trucker hat that has the same concept on it that we're gonna release soon. And so that has been one of our most popular t-shirts, as well as we have a seersucker American flag shirt that we did for spring and summer that was also really popular.
Well, you put a lot of thought into this, don't you? Do you have time for anything else?
Sometimes. Most of the time it's a lot of Dapper Joe that I do. And even, whenever I'm doing something else, I'm still promoting the company, and I'll have an idea and I'll write it down in my phone, or I'll have to leave to go do a business conference call or something, but I enjoy it though, so.
I didn't have a business conference call until I was probably 35 years old, so, and you're already out there with business calls. So that's amazing. Tell us what you would like to say if you had a chance to talk to parents, and you do, and grandparents, and people that know young folks that are in high school, or what is the age group that they can be?
11 to 18.
11 to 18. So that's a pretty wide margin of ages. What would you like to say to encourage people, to encourage young people to become part of the EA program?
I would definitely encourage people to try it out. It's probably been one of the biggest things that I've done in my life that's gotten me to where I am now. And I actually have a lot of people that will message me asking me how I started my business and what can they do to start a business and what it's like. Actually, yesterday all day long I was talking to someone, a friend of mine I went to high school with, who is planning on starting a clothing company, and just all the questions he was asking me reminded me of being back in the program and learning all this stuff for the first time. And I would just definitely recommend, if anyone has a kid or anyone out there that is interested in going into business, it's definitely one of the best opportunities available.
So you're not only marketing, but you're mentoring other people too. The real mark of a successful business person is someone who's always willing to share their information with other people.
Well, last year, John, let me interrupt real quick. Kennedy was one of our mentors in our second year program.
How about that?
Yes,
And
sir.
so he worked with a student on a clothing company this last year.
Yeah. And you always learn from that, don't you? I was talking with a business person today, and they were talking about working with someone else and how they had to go back and rethink a lot of the things that they personally did, and it was always a good experience because revisiting all the core ideas that you have in your business plan of the things that you do we always need to do that. In business, we always said that every year at the beginning of the year, you always rethink your priorities and your goals and objectives as the new year approaches, and the same holds true for any time that you sit down. But the way the world changes today, and the way that markets change and desires change, you're able to change your business model much quicker now than you used to be able to. So, and you can get it out much quicker too because of the use of social media. Tell me all the different, this, I've always thought this was interesting. Tell me all the different social media that you use.
So probably our biggest one is Instagram. We do a lot of Instagramming and posting pictures and stuff, and it's really easy for people to give us feedback, and people comment under our pictures saying that they want a shirt or ask us where to get them and stuff like that. We use Facebook a lot. We use Twitter. We want to start using it a little bit more. I haven't really updated our Twitter account as much as I would like to. And then another one that we're going to start using is YouTube. So at our last photo shoot, we actually did some video as well as the regular photos for the website. And so we're going to start going out and doing video shoots along with our photo shoots, and just documenting, trying to build that lifestyle brand of Dapper Joe and what exactly it is.
Good. Well, now you can use this as part of your YouTube, because we'll make sure you can do that, because we are on YouTube. One thing that I hope that people got across is the fact that, and one reason I wanted Karen to be here today too was because it takes the whole family to get a student or anybody involved in any business. I know, Karen, when you started yours, your family had to support you, be there with you through the process. I know that, Kennedy, you and your brother took many boxes and moved many things and
Ripped out carpet.
And ripped out carpet,
Yeah.
did, everything. And of course your husband did too, and your daughter. Everybody in the family did a little bit of something along the
Still
line.
do.
And still do.
It's a family affair.
It is a family affair. And Kennedy, I know that seeing your mother go through the process had to be an inspiration to you, to see the success that she's had and to realize that you have to have a plan, you have to work the plan, you have to stay true to the plan, but you always have to be willing to change the plan, because things in the marketplace change, needs change. Just as the weather changes, so do businesses, and you need to do that. You've managed to pick up a wonderful skill set from your family, and those gifts that God-given gifts that you already had instilled in you, you've been able to utilize and refine through this whole process. And Mandy, this is probably one of the real stars in the crown of the Aiken Chamber, to develop this program for these young people, stepping out on a limb, doing this, and you create such a wonderful atmosphere by the positive things that you do to promote it, to do it. You spend a lot of your time and your business time to do this, and as a community, we appreciate that. One thing that came out of that blue ribbon panel that you mentioned before was that we needed to find a way to retain our young people and the talent that they have in our area. And by providing things like this and showing community support for them and to stand behind them, that's how we have young people stay in the area. Because you feel a kinship to Aiken, probably because of this. You'll always feel that way. And one day we'll be able to say, we knew him when he was selling out of the trunk of his car.
When he was Kennedy and not Dapper Joe.
That's right. So when people see you downtown, they can still call you Kennedy, but they can yell Dapper Joe too. So,
Yes, sir.
anything you'd like to leave us with, a final thought?
Just that the A program is definitely, like I said before, is probably one of the most impactful things I've done so far, and that anyone interested in joining it definitely should look it up and apply.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being with us today, and I think we've certainly been encouraged by hearing what you've done. I think that every family should think about things that they can do to support their children, whether it's athletics, education, but this is I guess the only thing I can point to that I sold when I was young was lemonade, like most everybody did. But to come up with a business plan, a viable one, at your age, and to develop the marketing skills and the networking that you've been able to do, you're doing such a wonderful job. You're certainly giving back as being a mentor as well. And we appreciate you coming today to spend the time with us, Kennedy. And Karen, thank you for sharing your time and your family with us. And like you said, it's all in the family. But it's more than the family. It's this community of Aiken that we support our young people very well in this community. And that's one thing we can take pride on as members of this community, is that we do support our young people. And thank you and the Chamber. And you and David really have taken on this task. And David Jameson, our head of our Chamber. It's just wonderful to see the results. And I just wanted people to get just a glimpse of this. And you are starting your newest year, and you are now taking applications.
Yes, year 3 applications are available on our website, aikenchamber.net. Simply go to the bottom right corner and you'll see the Young Entrepreneurs logo. Click on that blue and yellow logo, And there's a video there to watch. There's all the information, anything they need, and also my phone number, so if they have any questions.
Good. And Kennedy, I know that you're going to be involved in the program again this year.
I hope so.
Good, good. But you're a busy young man.
Yes.
And thank y'all all again, and thank you for spending this time with us at Aiken Business Matters. And remember, shop local, shop Aiken.